to see you today.
Well, hello there, Miss Flaff. How are you today? It's a lovely day to be out and about.
Well, Mr. Pickles, I was reading my horoscope today, and I'm a little confused. What it said was positive thinking and visualization are powerful tools for getting what you want, but they aren't the only things you need to focus on right now. Just wanting something to work out won't necessarily make it so. You must get going and start working. The effort doesn't need to be physical, it needs to be emotional. Step out of your comfort zone and take a few more risks. If you really want this to happen, you need to challenge yourself a bit more. What do you think?
Wow, that sounds like a nice way of packaging the old song that says, "We are all masters of our own destiny." It's the old idea that if you can conceive it, you will achieve it.
Well, it feels so right to me. I really want a new car, and I have been looking at one down at Jess Ford's. The salesman did some calculations and told me that I don't quite make enough to be able to afford the payments on the one I really want. That rascal suggested that I should consider a cheaper model.
So, what have you decided to do?
Well, I guess that I have been thinking that I will either have to settle for a cheaper model or buy a used car that I can afford. But if I understand my horoscope correctly, all I have to do now to be able to buy that new car I really want is to start loving it and visualizing myself enjoying driving it.
That sounds like a good way to talk yourself into buying something you really can't afford. That will be a sure way to get into a financial bind. Then you'll be in a real pickle.
But Mr. Pickles, I really want that new car. Besides, my horoscope said that I can have it if I just begin to invest a little more emotion in it. Step out of my comfort zone and take the risk.
You know, Miss Flaff, God's Word instructs us to count the cost. And it says to not presume on tomorrow. I have always found that God's Word is sound advice, and that when I allow it to guide my decisions, I get better results.
Well, Mr. Pickles, don't you think that the horoscope is sound advice? I've always believed my horoscope and let it guide my choices.
Lots of people believe that their lives are guided by the stars, and so they trust a horoscope. But I have found that trusting God and His Word is much more reliable. After all, God's Word is truth.
Well, I have always thought that the horoscope was truth. Since God made the stars as well as the earth, why wouldn't the stars influence us in our lives? Couldn't God use the stars He made to guide us anyway?
Well, what happens when we go that route is that we find ourselves worshiping created things rather than the Creator. It's actually a form of idolatry. We will find ourselves doing just what the cripple by the pool of Bethesda was doing. Jesus said that he was sinning and told him that if he didn't quit it, more and worse bad things would happen to him.
Mr. Pickles, it sounds like you are telling me that I can't have that nice new car. I think I believe in God, but I was hoping that He would speak to me through my horoscope. Am I wrong? Could it be sin?